Hi friends, good afternoon. I am Dr. Prem. I am a consultant urologist and renal transplant surgeon at Fortis Hospitals, Nagarbhavi. And as we know, human body is a very complicated machine, and we are in the process of learning this complex machine step by step, and we have evolved through decades of this experience. Today I am here in front of you to just share with you a few experiences and expertise which I have in management and diagnosis and treatment of urinary incontinence, or plainly it's urine leak. Urine leak, before we know that, we should know the pathophysiology or the way the urine continence is maintained. The bladder has its own way of emptying itself because of the muscles which are placed inside the bladder muscle. The muscle is called detrusor muscle, which has its work of pushing the urine from the bladder out through the urine passage, and the urine passage has its function of maintaining the urine inside the bladder by a muscle which we term it as a sphincter. It is the same mechanism both in a male and a female, and continence is maintained by maintaining the tightness of the muscle to maintain urine inside the bladder and the muscle of the bladder relaxing at that point. Whenever there is an affection, or whenever there is this coordination is disturbed, that the bladder should be contracting and the sphincter should be relaxing, and the bladder should be relaxing and the sphincter should be, or the muscle should be contracting. If this coordination is not maintained, the continence is lost. There are different types of incontinences depending on which organ or which part of the bladder functioning is involved. If the bladder is too much active and the muscles are very strong enough to push the urine against a specific resistance, we call it as urge incontinence, or because of bladder activity, the urine is not able to be held inside the bladder and the sphincter tightness is lost and the urine leaks. There's other way of incontinence, other type of incontinence is stress incontinence, where the muscle which is supposed to hold back the urine inside the bladder is weak, and even a little bit of pressure inside the bladder and the bladder fills up, the urine is not held and the urine leaks out through the passage. That is termed as stress incontinence. Another way of incontinence is when the bladder completely relaxes and it's not able to contract whenever it's supposed to do that. So that is called overflow incontinence, and the bladder relaxes completely, exceeds its amount of or capacity of urine to be filled inside, and the urine starts leaking after the bladder capacity is attained. There is one other incontinence which we call as true incontinence, where the urine leaks from the bladder apart from the normal passage of the urine. So the passage will be away from the normal natural orifice, natural passage, which we will term as a fistulous connection, and then urine leaks from the bladder and outside into the exterior. So that is called true incontinence. Now, depending on the diagnosis, or depending on where the exact cause is, the incontinence is managed according to that. How do we investigate for an incontinence? We evaluate based on the history and based on a few investigations like urine routine microscopy. We get an ultrasound scan and just check whether the residue of the urine inside the bladder is good enough or it is very minimal. We check the speed of the urination depending on whether the blockage is the reason for the incontinence. And based on all these investigations and an additional investigation which we call as urodynamics, in which we assess the amount of pressure generated by the bladder muscle and pressure generated inside the bladder, and the amount of urine going out during a process of urination, and the strength of the muscle which is supposed to maintain this urine inside the bladder. All these are analyzed by a test called urodynamic evaluation. This urodynamic will give us an idea about the process of dynamics of urination, the starting of bladder contractions, the process of relaxation of the bladder neck or the muscle, and the urination process as well. Based on this, we'll decide which treatment is required, whether the bladder has to be relaxed when it is overactive or which causes urge incontinence, or the bladder has to be contracting when it is overflow incontinence, where the bladder functions are which are lesser. Whether it has to be relaxed, medicines has to be given to relax the bladder neck or the prostate region. Because of its tightness, the bladder becomes overactive in those cases. Or if it is a true incontinence where the bladder has a connection outside the body apart from the normal natural passage, those connections have to be disconnected. So this is how we plan for a treatment of incontinence based on the etiologies. How do you prevent an incontinence? That also depends on how the incontinence actually started as of. So first would be to have a proper water intake and urination process to be passed. The moment you have a sensation, the urine has to be passed. Any infections or burning or blood in the urine has to be addressed immediately by a consultation with the doctor. And any problems like getting up frequently at night and frequent leaks of urination or inability to empty the bladder completely, or lot of strain to pass urine, if any of these symptoms are there, it has to be addressed by consultation with the physician, specifically a urologist. So this is it's a short view of what incontinence actually is and how we maintain it. We will continue to share a few ideas of this sort in future as well. And thank you everyone for listening to this conversation. Thank you very much.